Now we come to chapter 16, Kassapa Samyutta. Discourses concerned with Venerable Kassapa, the ascetic Arahant. 16.1, Savati. The Buddha said, monks, this Kassapa is content with any kind of robe, and he speaks in praise of contentment with any kind of robe, and he does not engage in a wrong search in what is improper for the sake of a robe. If he does not get a robe, he is not agitated, and if he gets one, he uses it without being tied to it, uninfatuated with it, not blindly absorbed in it, seeing the danger in it, understanding the escape. Monks, this Kassapa is content with any kind of alms food, with any kind of lodging, with any kind of medicines. If he gets them, he uses them without being tied to them, uninfatuated with them, not blindly absorbed in them, seeing the danger in them, understanding the escape. Stop here for a moment. Here the Buddha is talking about the 4 requisites, the 4 essentials of a monk. Is the robe, food, lodging, and medicines. So the Buddha says, Kassapa, if he gets them, okay. If he doesn't get them, also okay. Therefore, monks, you should train yourselves thus. We will be content with any kind of robe, and we will speak in praise of contentment with any kind of robe, and we will not engage in a wrong search in what is improper for the sake of a robe. If we do not get a robe, we will not be agitated, and if we get one, we will use it without being tied to it, uninfatuated with it, not blindly absorbed in it, seeing the danger in it, understanding the escape. Similarly, we will be content with any kind of alms, food, lodging, medicines, etc. Monks, I will exhort you by the example of Kassapa, or one who is similar to Kassapa. Being exhorted, you should practice accordingly. It's the end of the sutta. So here, the Buddha has a lot of respect for Kassapa and holds him as a standard, the model for other monks, and asking other monks to follow him, to practice contentment like him. 16.2. On one occasion, the Venerable Kassapa and the Venerable Sariputta were dwelling at Varanasi in the deer park at Isipatana. Then in the evening, the Venerable Sariputta emerged from seclusion and approached the Venerable Kassapa. He exchanged greetings with the Venerable Kassapa, and when they had concluded their greetings and cordial talk, he sat down to one side. Stop here for a moment. You see, during the Buddha's days, the monks, in the morning they go on alms round. After alms round, they come back and they eat their food. Sometimes either they live together or they live close to each other. And after they have eaten their food, if there's any remainder, they will leave it for others in case the others did not get enough food to eat. And the Buddha allowed other monks to eat the leftovers of the other monks as long as it had not passed noon, not past the time when the sun was the highest. Then after eating the food, the monks will go and find a quiet place to meditate for the rest of the day until the sun sets. Then when the sun sets, they will go to usually the most senior monk and discuss Dhamma. So here actually you see Venerable Sariputta is the right hand disciple of the Buddha. Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mahamoggallana is the left hand disciple of the Buddha. These two sit next to the Buddha. But actually they were not the most senior. There were already more than 1,000 disciples of the Buddha, more than 1,000 arahants before Venerable Sariputta and Moggallana came. And but here you see, Venerable Sariputta in the evening he went to look for Venerable Kassapa. It was not the other way around. So even though he was considered like the the eldest disciple, and yet he went to look for Kassapa because for 2 reasons. One is probably Kassapa was more senior to him, became a disciple of the Buddha before him. Secondly, Kassapa was most probably much older than him. Venerable Kassapa was even older than the Buddha. So, and also because Venerable Kassapa was such an ascetic monk, so strict, that all the monks respected him. So Venerable Sariputta also out of respect went to see him. Venerable Sariputta said, "Friend, is avuso. It is said that one who is not ardent and who is unafraid of wrongdoing is incapable of enlightenment, incapable of nibbana, incapable of achieving the unsurpassed security from bondage. But one who is ardent and afraid of wrongdoing is capable of enlightenment, capable of nibbana, capable of achieving the unsurpassed security from bondage. In what way is this so, friend?" So here Venerable Sariputta is asking him a Dhamma question, and Kassapa said, "Dear friend, a monk does not arouse ardor by thinking, 'If unarisen, evil, unwholesome states arise in me, this may lead to my harm,' nor by thinking, 'If evil, unwholesome states that have arisen in me are not abandoned, this may lead to my harm,' nor by thinking, 'If unarisen, wholesome states do not arise in me, this may lead to my harm,' nor by thinking, 'If wholesome states that have arisen in me cease, this may lead to my harm.' Thus he is not ardent." Stop here for a moment. So here where Kassapa says, a monk is not diligent, not energetic, if he does not consider these four things. If unarisen, evil, unwholesome states arise in me, this may lead to my harm. If evil, unwholesome states that have arisen are not abandoned, this may lead to my harm, etc. These four things are called the four right efforts. It is the fifth factor, the sixth factor of the Noble Eightfold Path. Right effort leads to right recollection, sati, and we shall lead to right concentration. So this right effort is firstly, if unwholesome states have not arisen, arise, then this is bad. And unwholesome states, if they arise, when they arise, they are not abandoned, then also this is harmful. And wholesome states, if they have not arisen, and they do not arise, this also is no good. If wholesome states that have arisen cease, this is also no good. And how, friend, is he unafraid of wrongdoing? Here, friend, a monk does not become afraid at the thought, "If unarisen, evil, wholesome states arise in me, this may lead to my harm." Or if evil, unwholesome states that have arisen in me are not abandoned, this may lead to my harm, etc. It is in this way, friend, that one who is not ardent and who is unafraid of wrongdoing is incapable of enlightenment, incapable of nibbana, incapable of achieving the unsurpassed security from bondage. Stop here for a moment. So here, Kassapa is saying, a monk who is not diligent, he does not observe his own mind. We have to constantly observe our mind to see whether there are wholesome or unwholesome states in our mind. If there are unwholesome states, we should get rid of them quickly. If there are wholesome states, then we should prolong them or make them rise. And how, friend, is one ardent? Dear friend, a monk arouses ardor by thinking, "If unarisen, evil, wholesome states arise in me, this may lead to my harm." And by thinking, "If evil, unwholesome states that have arisen in me are not abandoned, this may lead to my harm." And he also thinks, "If unarisen, wholesome states do not arise in me, this may lead to my harm." And he also thinks, "If wholesome states that have arisen in me cease, this may lead to my harm." Thus he is ardent. And how, friend, is he afraid of wrongdoing? Dear friend, a monk becomes afraid at the thought. Similarly, that's the same four thoughts. It is in this way, friend, that one who is ardent and afraid of wrongdoing is capable of enlightenment, capable of nibbana, capable of achieving the unsurpassed security from bondage. So, You see, these four considerations are very important. The Kassapa is saying, if you do not practice this, you cannot be released from samsara. A lot of people, they practice meditation, they want to achieve this state and achieve that state, but they don't observe themselves. It's very important here to observe yourself, observe your mind. Don't observe other people's mind. It's a very common habit to look at other people and criticize other people. You don't see your own faults. When we practice spiritual path, we must always look within and look outside. 16.3 at Savatthi. Monks, you should approach families like the moon, drawing back the body and mind, always acting like newcomers, without impudence towards families. Just as a man looking down an old well, a precipice, or a steep river bank would draw back the body and mind, so too monks should you approach families. I'll stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha is saying, monks, how they should behave towards lay people, families. The Buddha is saying, monks should not be too familiar with lay people, drawing back the body and mind, always acting like newcomers, without impudence, without being proud, arrogant. Should realize the danger of associating too much with lay people. That's why you should draw back as though from a well or a precipice. So the Buddha said, approach families like the moon. The moon is always hiding behind the clouds. So monks also should not mix too much with lay people, but hide in the forest. Once in a while you come out like the moon, but then other times you have to hide behind the clouds. Monks, Kassapa approaches families like the moon, drawing back the body and mind, always acting like a newcomer, without impudence towards families. What do you think, monks? What kind of monk is worthy to approach families? Venerable Sir, our teachings are rooted in the Blessed One, guided by the Blessed One, take recourse in the Blessed One. It would be good if the Blessed One would clear up the meaning of this statement. Having heard it from him, the monks will remember it. Then the Blessed One waved his hand in space and said, monks, just as this hand does not get caught in space, is not held fast by it, is not bound by it, so when a monk approaches families, his mind does not get caught, held fast and bound amidst families, thinking, may those desiring gains acquire gains, may those desiring merits make merits. He is as elated and happy over the gains of others as he is over his own gains. Such a monk is worthy to approach families. Monks, when Kassapa approaches families, his mind does not get caught, held fast, or bound amidst families, thinking, may those desiring gains acquire gains, may those desiring merits make merits. He is as elated and happy over the gains of others as he is over his own gains. What do you think, monks? How is a monk's teaching of the Dhamma impure? And how is his teaching of the Dhamma pure? Venerable Sir, our teachings are rooted in the Blessed One, etc. Then listen and attend closely, monks, I will speak. Yes, Venerable Sir, those monks replied. The Blessed One said this, a monk teaches the Dhamma to others with the thought, oh, may they listen to the Dhamma from me. Having listened, may they gain confidence in the Dhamma. Being confident, may they show their confidence to me. Such a monk's teaching of the Dhamma is impure. But a monk teaches the Dhamma to others with the thought, this Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One, directly visible, immediate, inviting one to come and see, applicable, to be personally experienced by the wise. Oh, may they listen to the Dhamma from me. Having listened, may they understand the Dhamma. Having understood, may they practice accordingly. Thus he teaches the Dhamma to others because of the intrinsic excellence of the Dhamma. He teaches the Dhamma to others from compassion and sympathy, out of tender concern. Such a monk's teaching of the Dhamma is pure. Monks, Kassapa teaches the Dhamma to others with the thought, the Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One, directly visible, immediate, etc. May they listen to the Dhamma from me. Having listened, may they understand the Dhamma. Having understood, may they practice accordingly. So, he teaches the Dhamma to others because of the intrinsic excellence of the Dhamma. He teaches the Dhamma to others from compassion and sympathy, out of tender concern. Monks, I will exhort you by the example of Kassapa, or one who is similar to Kassapa. Being exhorted, you should practice accordingly. That's the end of the sutta. So finally the Buddha says that a monk teaches the Dhamma not to be famous or to get a lot of offerings, but out of compassion for others and to make others see how excellent is the Buddha's Dhamma, how helpful it is for us to lessen our suffering and to attain happiness in this life and future lifetimes. It's about an hour, so I'll stop here for the moment. Continue tomorrow. If there's anything to discuss, you can discuss. Yeah. Yeah. It's if you look at other people's fault, if we want to say anything, we have to be very clear of our intentions. If our intentions are to help the other person, it's okay. It's okay if we speak to help the other person. A lot of people, they don't see their faults. But then we also have to use our wisdom. Have to see whether that person will accept your criticism or not, will accept your advice or not. If that person will not accept, and it is not worthwhile to speak to him. Buddha says when we speak, the speech should have a few qualities. Good speech. One is it should be truthful. Other one it should be motivated by kindness or compassion. Then we should speak gently, and we should speak at the right time, and we should speak words that are beneficial. These are the qualities of good speech. So when we try to advise somebody also, we try to see to speak that way. And if we are criticized by others, it is good to examine ourselves and see whether it is true or not. If somebody does criticize us, even if it is not 100% true, there should be a little truth in it. But the problem is if we don't learn the Dhamma, for most ordinary people, when they get criticism, they flare up in a rage. A lot of people will not accept criticism. So that is the worldling, the putujana, the ordinary man in the street. Person who's walking the spiritual path should be different. If we criticize, actually it is good for us. Sometimes, just like medicine, medicine is bitter to the taste, but it is good for us. So in the same way, sometimes words of criticism, we don't like to listen, but it's good for us because we will improve much faster if people criticize us. So the Buddha says in the suttas, if you have a teacher who is willing to point out your faults, you should not run away from him. You should stay with him for the rest of your life. Hard to find a teacher who's bothered to look to pinpoint your faults. But very often the teacher does not do it because the disciple will not listen.
Can we stop here for tonight? We have to do some work with Chong.